Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a slightly different video. I'll be showing you a little bit more about the online things that I use to track my reading. The two things that I use are StoryGraph and Notion. StoryGraph, I use it to mostly track my reading in terms of like searching up books that I want to read, tracking my current reads, tracking like the date that I finished them, the date that I added them to my collection, etc. The downside about it is that there's a lot of books that aren't on StoryGraph, so a lot of local singlet isn't on StoryGraph. What I use Notion for is for my own notes. So these are things like tagging the books, kind of my own summary of the books, my own notes about the books. I've only started using Notion for my books maybe like a month ago, honestly. But I've always been using Notion for my own life in many different ways. First, I'm going to start with StoryGraph. So yeah, let's go check it out. Okay, so when you log into StoryGraph, this is what you see. What I really like about the StoryGraph as well is how they randomize the to read pile. They kind of every time you log into the page, they will show you really different stuff on the front page. So if you click on the current reads here, they will show you like the books that I'm currently in my the books that are currently in my reading list. I leave some of these books here for a long time, for example, Save the Trouble, as a way to remind myself to pick up the book again, because obviously I'm not reading all these books at once, but I do place them here as a way to remind myself if I have these books and I need to read them. And some of them are ebooks, so I have these as ebooks, and I have this as a physical book here. For example, if I want to add this book, I saw someone recommend it to me in the comments, and I've just added it to my to read page. Just to give you an example, like I could add this in these ways. So I've already added it as to my to read. I could put it as my currently reading because I have now added it to my list of borrowed books. Just to show you the read books section, this is how it looks like. They have like all these different moods. Again, I don't really use this a lot. What I usually do is just I kind of search by the years that I completed them. So say for example, I go to 2021, I have all these books that I've read in 2021. Another thing I'd like is the did not finish book section. So these are the books that I did not manage to finish, but I kind of still want to have a place where I put them so I can kind of like think about whether I want to go back to them and try them again. Obviously, I have a lot more books that I did not finish, but I only add them to this list if I feel like I want to return to them again. Now, another cool thing about StoryGraph is that they give you a reading wrap-up. I don't know whether you like these stats because I don't find them super accurate, again because I don't track all my books here. But for people who like stats, I think this is quite fun. Now we're going to move on to my Notion page. So yeah, this is my Notion page where I track my books. I'm still in the middle of porting over a lot of my information about the books, but I wanted to share with you how I roughly use my Notion page. So what I do on the front page here is that I write in the title of the books. I have a little like section for the subtitle of the books, the author, and a brief summary. These are all from like my own point of view. So this is my own summary of the books, and these are the themes that I feel the book explores, and then I add the themes here. So this again is up to you to create the themes. And another thing I have is now the date completed. Over the next few weeks, I will be potting over more books as I comb through my StoryGraph and recall some stuff, and also referencing my own physical book journal. Over here, I put in the StoryGraph link in case any of my friends want to know more about the book. So another cool thing that Notion did was the release called Layout. Yeah, so there's this thing where you can pin the different properties to the top of the page, and also pin them in kind of like a layout version, right? So here I've kind of pinned the tags, the themes, and then the author, the summary, and date completed, and then also the themes here. So I think the themes for me is pretty important. Another thing that I also added here is other related books so that I can easily reference what the other books that this current book reminds me of. So here I'm putting the book image, and then I have my notes here. Previously, I did have like quotes. I mean, you can add in quotes here if you want to, but sometimes I don't really add quotes here because I keep them in my ebook or I keep them in my physical book. That's something I've been thinking about, whether I really want to port over my quotes as well. But I don't really find it necessary unless I am quoting something that's like quite literary in nature. And then on the right, I have my text and my link. One cool thing about this table is that I can go to a gallery view and then I can just look at the books and then select the books as needed. So here is My Brilliant Friend, etc. So yeah, that was a really quick look at my StoryGraph and Notion. That's how I've been kind of tracking my books, and tracking things on Notion has been super helpful because that allows me to also track the content that I'm making. So if you want to see more about how I use Notion to track other things in my life, do let me know. Generally, I feel like it's been such a lifesaver in organizing my life. If you want to use this book tracking template, feel free to download it in the template down below. I did create a little page where I have all my templates up. I do have my weekly logs template that I use on a weekly basis. You can use that for free. And I do have other templates that are for a small cost, but obviously there's no obligation for you all to use it, honestly. Thank you all for joining me on this video. I know it's a bit different, but yeah, it was really fun to show you a little bit more about the behind the scenes and how I manage my own life because it's so chaotic. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more of such content from me. So yeah, see y'all. Have a good day, have a good rest, make sure you hydrate, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!